All right. Well, that was fun. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the show. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, folks. This is our podcast that we do. We like to follow up our shows. We have, if you're just seeing this podcast, this is our post-game review of our kids show. We talk about what we did. We talked about why and how we did it. And today we went to Africa. We went to a country called Ghana, and we did a song called Obwisana, which was a really neat song. And Freddie prepared a very cool lesson for us to do.
Since this is a work song, the song is very inviting in terms of group games, and the way I did it was I did two parts. One was a game with a pair of claves. Every member gets a pair of claves, and you pass them over in a certain rhythm, first and foremost in a solid or steady rhythm, because this exercise or this song helps you providing the same consciousness of feeling of rhythm, and you can pass it on like Obwisana sa na na Obwisana sa, and you always pass like one clave to your neighbor, and at the same time you're receiving a clave from the other neighbor, and that goes on, and the goal is to not have more than two claves or less than two claves. Always have to have two of them, one that you always pass on and the other one that you use to do the sound. And
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, with just the two of us, it felt kind of, the circle was very small. But if you have like 10 people within the game, then it's so much fun. And
I believe it.
So funny. It's so funny.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Hey, Elfie's here. What's going on, Elfie? How you doing?
Oh, cool. Hi. And with 10 people, it's you don't require any knowledge of music at all, because the group dynamic just sucks you in the game, and failing it is super fun. And I saw experts, professors failing in the game, because you really have to do the movements within the rhythm,
right?
And it's funny. And then there's games where you kind of switch the direction, and then it's
like what you do, like twice and then back over once.
There's one cue, for example, like the leader is holding a whistle or something, and every time you hear the whistle, the direction changes.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Because you don't have your hands free, you have to have something to make the cue. And yeah, I saw it with a whistle.
Now, to give some background about we should give some background about the song. Yeah. Besides it being a song from Ghana, which is a country in Africa, it is a children's song, but it is also a worker song.
That's true.
Freddie, you've seen video of basically people on doing whatever the job might be to keep
for example, they were crushing, let's say, I don't know, herbs or yeast or whatever in a big pot.
Yep.
And they were slamming it in a certain rhythm. They were like carrying heavy stones, so the stuff gets small pretty good. And they were using a pattern in the group.
Yeah.
The rock was as big as the pot.
Right.
So you can't.
So there's no room for two people.
There's
to hit the
no
same thing
wrong.
at the same time.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
And this fascinates me, because if you do it with with 4 people and you have a 4/4 song, then it's easy. But they drop out, and for example, there are 3 people in it.
Yep.
And then it starts shifting when 3 people hitting.
Yep.
In a 4/4 groove, then you always have another downbeat.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3, then the person who starts with the 1 now has the 4,
right?
And then
Right.
it starts shifting. And these guys, they're doing it, they're working, but to me it looks like art because they're doing it like it's a completely normal thing.
I mean, I just thinking about that, especially when you're talking about an odd number of Obwisana sa na na. Wait, Obwisana sa. Well, it's always odd though, even if it's 2. Even if it's no, not really.
What are you trying to say?
Well, if you're doing that, I'm wondering if they're hitting the hammer, what they do for that long sa. Obwisana sa na na. Like, is there like a pause, or are they?
I mean, the sa is technically there are 2 beats hidden.
Right.
So it's Obwisana sa na na.
Yeah.
So
I'd have to see it in action to know, but I'm always I like what happens, because then you're getting into polyrhythm. What happens? What happens when there's 3 workers?
3 workers within a 4/4 rhythm. That's
Right.
true. Then everybody, like on every cycle, everybody's hitting another downbeat
until they sync back up for that.
Yeah.
And
so
then
when
you get to
that's true.
So that'd be a great way to that's a great way for us to teach polyrhythm in the future.
Could be like
That's
that. Yes.
that's a
Yes.
really that's a tactile way to
Totally.
teach polyrhythm.
Totally.
Because when you're sometimes Freddie says something and I'm I guess what you would call a little bit ADD, and I get excited. I've learned a little bit of what is called fingerstyle guitar. It's sort of a 4th dimensional kind of way of playing guitar. I'm not very good at it. I know people who are very good at it, but there are these guys like Mike Dawes. He does a song called The Impossible, and it's in like 9 and 11, like, or whatever. He's playing, one hand's playing in 11, the other hand's playing like 7 or 9 or something crazy. So we call it polyrhythm because there are 2 different rhythms happening at the same time. But it's sort of like, I'm sure there are a bunch of us who can pat our heads and rub our bellies. That's not too bad. I'm probably rubbing my belly half as fast as I am patting my head. But if I was trying to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it's weird. I can't even. When you really try to think about it, when it's your own 2 hands, you can suffer from what I call paralysis by analysis, where you're focusing on every individual part. So that would be a really good way in a group to teach that.
Polyrhythm is basically two different sticks that have like different sizes, and they meet on one specific point. So they share their ones at one point, and in between that, it's the knowledge of the relationship between these 2.
Yeah.
So, for example, pass the goddamn butter is just a thing that helps you getting this.
We'll keep it PG. We'll call it pass the gosh darn butter. Pass. So there's an exercise you can do. Pass the gosh darn butter. Pass the gosh darn butter. One of my hands is in 4 and one is in 3.
And
so this hand's in 3.
Pass, damn, damn, but. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Here, you do the 4 and I'll do 3. Whatever. Everybody's watching like, what are these knuckleheads doing? They're just slapping their head.
and the subject wasn't polyrhythm in this lesson.
By the way, you can write to us and if you have questions or just want to say hey, we'll say hey back.
The thing was more about keeping one pulse, doesn't have to be polyrhythmic, in a group. And since this song is so easy to adapt and to sing, it's very intuitive.
Yep.
It has like 5 different notes. That's it. And you can get pretty easy access to it. So the first thing I always like to clear out is, when I'm working with a bigger group, is what's the form. So the only thing is, on that song, there's like 1 tone difference on the first half and the second half. Got 2 parts. That's it. Obwisana sa, nana obwisana sa, obwisana sa, nana obwisana sa. So the last tone of the first half is up, the second is down.
And that's the only difference between the A part and the B part.
It's the only difference between the A and B part. That's right. So that helps people, at least rationally, to get an overview of what's going on.
Well, I mean, it's something I didn't think about a whole lot, because I played solo for most of my life. So I just did it the hard way, and I just learned the song. And when you start playing with other people, it's great to take a step back and define, okay, this is, I knew what a chorus was, I knew what a verse was.
Yep.
But when you're starting to work with more people, and especially when you're in a leadership role of teaching children, it's very useful to be able to take that macro, because, whatever, even with kids, you're probably not going to use terminology like verse and chorus and bridge, depending on the age. But, even at my son's age, who's 3, he understands ABC, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing to clearing out the form is like defining the size of your sandbox, for example. I mean, this is the form of our playground.
Right.
So, and let's check out all the corners so we know how big it is.
Right.
And that's the goal at first. Well, first of all, and then we just sing it. Obwisana sa, sana obwisana sa. Then we go back to the form, being like, okay, so how can we know when is what?
Mm-hmm.
So high tone A part at the end, low tone B part. So everybody can jump in and drop out anytime, and you know exactly at which part you are.
Yeah. By
listening to the end of the part. So if you working on, for example, specific movements, if you practice a choreography like we did with the body percussion or handing over the claves, it's always worth it to do the exercise without singing. So you isolate the singing in order to memorize the form. So we can only do the movements or only do the percussions, and that helps you again, or it's kind of challenging as well, but it helps you.
The body percussion was killing me.
Yeah, I know, man.
Me.
Like when I started studying, man, that was just mind-blowing, really, because there are like freaks outside who are doing it so well.
Oh, have you ever had? So I don't know if you've come across this during your studies, but in America, do you know what fraternities and sororities are?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so university here in Europe is completely different than it is in America. There's a lot. Well, there's number one, there's really no school spirit at all. Like high schools, colleges, there's none. No one's like, yeah, we're the Gossenhof Tigers. Like that doesn't exist. There are no. So if anybody's watching this from America, there are no sports teams at high schools. There are no sports team in college. There's no NCAA. There's no high school champion. None of that. All of the sports leagues are separate. They're all nonprofit clubs that are set up for people to do things like that. For all you Europeans who are watching, in America, it's quite the opposite. You have, sports, music, band, all those activities are very much integrated in school. And when you get to the university level, they have things called fraternities and sororities. Greek life, as they like to call it.
Mhm.
And
Tell me more about it. What is it?
So basically, it's something I've never joined. I was never very interested. I flirted with it for a day when I got into college. But these are organizations, I think in many cases nonprofits, that in some cases are very old. I mean, well, not old by European standards, but decades old. And they all have Greek letters. And it's a place where sometimes people in university live, but where a lot of people meet. And they have, like, there's this initiation period where they get hazed and they have to get the upperclassmen coffee or pizza or do whatever they say, or like bark like a dog if they tell, whatever. Some of it gets really bad.
Okay.
But there are also a bunch of all black fraternities. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but one thing that I am aware of is that in the all black fraternities, there are a bunch of step dances that are like if you YouTube step dancing, black fraternities or whatever it might be called.
Mhm.
They do amazing stuff, and it's the cool stuff, and they're coordinated dances, and it's like
That's art, isn't it?
It's oh yeah, like it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that was my first exposure to body percussion, not knowing what body percussion was, right? Just seeing that. It was a really, really neat thing.
And
I got to show you there's a movie you got to watch called School Days. It's a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah. Please. I'm highly interested in that.
Yeah.
So since every pair of claves is unique because it's a nature product, it's a piece of wood, and it just grows. And so is our body. So everybody is unique. Every sounds you're doing, every sorts of clapping, everybody's clapping differently. Every sound of clapping is unique. Every clap you're doing, it just exists once. Mm-hmm. Then it's gone. It's kind of sad, but it's cool. It's cool in a way.
It's
because every sound you do is just like
it's done. It's over.
It's over. So
there was an ancient Greek philosopher, a pre-Socratian philosopher called Heraclitus. And he said something that always stuck with me. You can never step into the same river twice. And that's
same thing.
You can't make the same sound twice.
Same thing. And with the body percussion, it's another thing. It's another game where failing is so much fun because
and hilarious.
I'm doing it a little bit more often than you, but I still failed from time to time, and it is funny. It is funny.
Some big old fails happening.
But once again, like my impression of understanding and learning rhythm is way deeper if I'm using my own body than if I'm just do it on the bass. I gotta feel it, and the most direct way to really get an idea of new rhythms that you don't know is use your body, use your hands, you touch, finding new sounds so the rhythm can sink in better. And I highly recommend doing it, practicing without your instruments, just with a voice, just with your hands, past the gosh darn butter. It's that really helps, and it's fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It was interesting thing happened on the stream today. I was talking. We have a friend named Guitaro 5000 who will be a guest on the show. Actually, I'm going to see if he'll. I'm going to send him a link right now.
But tell him first. What do you want to say?
No, I'm not telling him anything.
Okay.
I'm not telling him.
Well, that's Guy.
Yeah.
Like 7 brains at the same time. Oh, I got an idea, but
No. I'm gonna invite him on the show, and he's just gonna have to deal with it. If you can figure it out. Hold on. We've got a great friend named Guitar 5000. Come on the show now.
Oh, so do you want him to join him now?
I do. I want him to join now. So we'll see. We'll see if Guitaro comes on. That'd be cool if he did. He might have a stream. Guitaro 5000. I met this guy. He said he's just waking up. Man, what time is it in America? What do you mean you're just waking up, Guitaro 5000?
What
Good
time
Lord,
is
it's
it?
not like he was partying last night. It's
12.
It's 12. It's 12. Can I have 10 minutes? No, we're not going to be here.
Nope.
Nope.
Missed your
Fail.
chance.
Missed your chance, son. We'll get him on another episode. Guitaro 5000 is a really good friend of ours. I met him on Instagram, and I had seen him years ago. I had been following on YouTube for several years, but about 3 or 4 years ago, I reached out to him on Instagram. He had a very famous, a very viral video go down on YouTube and developed a significant following. And it was one of those things. I DM'd him. I was like, "Hey, man, what do I got to do to ask you some questions about YouTube?" And he just wrote back, "Just ask me." And I was like, "Oh, all right." So anyway, I started talking to him. We developed a friendship. He's been to Europe 2 or 3 times since then, maybe 4. I don't even know. He comes, stays with us. We gig, we hang out. And he's just a great guy and a great worker. And I was talking to him today about his live streams because he's doing a bunch of live streams himself for his concerts and how we can make it better and get more folks involved. And one of the things that he said is, doing your live in a group. And so I'm a part of a parents group on Facebook. So I shared the stream to that, and we had a nice uptick in viewers today. Not a whole lot of people commenting. I think a bunch of people just sort of like sniffing out the show, seeing what it's about. But that was cool. So I'm going to consistently do that from now on. But Facebook, this is stuff that like he doesn't really care about. I'm
just listening.
Well, I mean, you're just generally not as into the whole.
That doesn't mean anything.
Okay, all right. So we'd like to get more viewers, obviously. But Facebook and YouTube, especially, they're kind of strange. There's not a lot of what you would call organic reach going on with that. So that means one of 3 things. Either you do something so spectacular that it goes viral, which is a lot less likely to happen now on Facebook and YouTube, or you pay to targeted audiences, which I've played around with in the past, or you do some heavy footwork and you try to do some retail shopping, and we did that today, and I think we saw some success. So that was a neat thing, having some more folks on the show. I quite enjoyed having that happen.
It's good.
It's nice to play to an audience.
It's good, and since I'm doing this as an actual job, meeting up with kids, I'll take that. Although I'm not interested in Facebook that much, you're that technician guy, and I have to stay fresh, with ideas and creativity, and I have to train that muscle of how to do this, how to do that, how to teach,
man.
And standing.
Can you imagine doing like not having done any of this and then having to teach whenever this stops in September?
Oh, well, that would be like a jump in the very cold water, I suppose. Like that'd be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But no, it helps me, still looking for new ideas, for fresh ideas.
Yeah.
And if not, then it's just a very good repetition. And, repetition is my brain's best friend. So
repetition's good.
Repetition is very good.
Guitaro, if you're watching, feel free to comment. I think he might be watching now. He just woke up. I don't think he's going to get.
Good morning.
So yeah, no, this is cool. So if you're one of the 3 people watching, hello, thanks for listening to us. We're doing our post game. We do a children's show 4 days a week, and we like to follow up to talk about what we did, why we did it, what went right, what went wrong. And you never know, some other spontaneous ideas. Like I'm really digging that idea about we're going to do a polyrhythm lesson now. But that would be it would be really cool. What we could do to do this is do a bird's eye view shot. We can get Magdalene and Gabby involved, right? Because Gabby doesn't want to see the kid's face. Gabby doesn't like being on camera ever. which I respect. If we're doing a bird's eye view, we could show people how it can be done with 4 people or 3 people, but that would be the way to express a polyrhythm, or to articulate a polyrhythm visually, I think, right?
We have to try it out.
I don't know.
You know, this is the fun thing. You always have to try out. You always have to try out things. Sometimes you have such a good idea and you'd be like, oh, this gotta be happening.
Yep.
And then it'd be like, and then you do it, and then sometimes it feels just like, is that it? Oh man, that's boring, or this isn't working because we're not good enough, or whatever. But you know, trying out stuff helps your creativity not shrinking.
I agree.
And this is good. This is good. Just, you know, work out. Whether it's your body or your creativity or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of working out, I got to get my son on a bike ride, which is also going to facilitate me getting a little bit of exercise.
Okay.
So we're gonna say goodbye now.
We're gonna say
We're
goodbye.
gonna say goodbye.
We're gonna say goodbye.
Thanks for hanging with us. Okay. Goodbye. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. We'll see you next time. Peace. Cool. Right on. Right on.
See you
On Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Well, not you.
Yeah.
They'll see me on Wednesday.
See him on Wednesday.
Bye,
Tune
guys.
in.
All right.